This video is long overdue. Last summer, I shaved off all of my head. I was a buzzcut girl for quite a while, and while I did partially address it then, today I'm here to sit down with you and explain to you why you should shave your head at least once in your life. For all of you that don't know me, hi, I'm Stella. I do a bunch of things to my hair, and one of the things that I do to my hair happened to be a buzz cut last year. To everyone who is not new here, hi! You already know what I did. Currently, I am in the grow out period of my buzz cut, which means that I shaved off my head, had fun with it, now I'm growing it out. We're here. I'm actually incredibly happy with how my hair journey is progressing, and currently I'm also sporting probably one of my favorite hair colors ever. Like a blue root with like a magenta berry end. I like it. But while I don't currently have a buzz cut, which is making this video feel inauthentic, rest assured, I had a buzz cut. In fact, I had it for quite a while last summer. And while I did my very best then to explain why I was doing it, I realized that a lot of the things I was just learning as I went with it. And I was falling in love with it more and more the longer I had my buzz cut. And so here I am today to give you a complete list roundup of why the buzz cut haircut is one of the best haircuts that you could try. Male or female, non-binary, if you have hair, I urge you to try a buzz cut. Let's get into it. So when I initially decided that I wanted to shave my head, it wasn't a whim decision. I didn't decide one day, okay, I'm shaving my head. Contrary to what a lot of people believe, especially on my Instagram, so many people assume that I just decided one day I'm just shaving my head, and so many of you were concerned for my health, which is unfortunately probably a Britney Spears effect, which is when women shave their head, we're concerned all of a sudden for their health. It was not the case for me, obviously. In fact, I made a grand play throughout the months leading up to it that I'm slowly going shorter and shorter with my hair. I was in that phase in my life where I just wanted to try haircuts, and the buzz cut was at the very end of that beautiful list of haircuts. And so when I finally decided I wanted to shave my head in May of 2022, I was ready for it. I was just like, right, this is what I'm trying next, and I did it. The very main reason for me shaving my head back then was genuinely because I am a hair person. I love hair, and I love more than anything to try things. And so I was like, the next thing that makes sense for me would be to shave my head. And that was it. There was no agenda, there was no hidden meanings, there was no mighty reason behind me taking the most questionable action in my career. I just genuinely wanted to tick it off a bucket list. And for most of you, I would recommend going at it the exact same way. I wouldn't do it if you have any other agenda in mind. That is probably one of the leading reasons for wanting to try it, is just wanting to try it. However, as I learned after that, the buzz cut remains probably one of the best things that you could ever try on yourselves for reasons other than just ticking it off the list. Here they are. A few videos ago, I released a video called The Best Haircuts to Try after trying every single one of them, and the buzz cut was obviously on there. One of my main reasons for it being on there is that it is probably one of the most creative haircuts ever. And I don't necessarily mean the haircut itself. As a haircut, it is very simple. It's almost boring. You just take a shaver and you just shave off all of your head. But what I mean by it is the most creative haircut ever is that it is so creative inducing that I hadn't fallen in love with a length of hair as much or as quickly as I did the buzz cut. You stop looking at hair as a 2D flat plane and you start looking at it as a canvas that you can draw on. In fact, the buzz cut was probably one of the ones that I related to most as an artist, as a creative individual who loves to paint, who loves to fill her life up with color. This cut was the one that I felt represented that side of me the best, the most. I had not been so full of inspiration and of imagination and of creativity as much as I had been in that period of my life. And I know you guys saw it too, because my Instagram DM, my YouTube suggestions, everything was constantly full of ideas that you guys wanted me to try. My Pinterest board was full. There was literally no shortage of designs, colors, patterns, swirls that I could try on my head. Once you shave off your hair, you are left with such a small amount that you can literally just paint on it like you would on any flat surface. I ended up trying 6 beautiful designs throughout my buzz cut phase, but oh my god, do I regret not trying more designs, like 20 more. To this day, I keep finding more and more insane, beautiful, amazing designs done by other artists, other hairstylists, that I'm like, oh my god, I wish I tried this. If you are a creative, if you are someone who is so in love with color and designs like I am, this is probably one of the haircuts that will fit you so well. Like no other haircut, hair length, hairstyle will give this much potential. There is a bit of a learning curve, obviously, to learning how to paint on your head, especially when it comes to the back of your head or even the top, because obviously you're going to be using a mirror, but obviously the mirror flips the image. It can be very distorted or disorienting trying to figure it out. So I would recommend that you practice maybe with a dry brush before you actually add paint on it, before you can finally get it. But by the 6th design, by the time I was doing my Hungarian embroidery one, which happens to be my favorite design, I felt like I was a pro. Don't forget, before this, I had never tried this. In fact, when I did my very first beauty blender design, it was probably my least favorite one because I was still getting the hang of it. But then I just bleached it or I let it grow a bit more and then I shaved it off, and that is why I love this from a creative perspective. Once you get the hang of it, there's literally no design that is going to look too chaotic. It can also be an extremely good friend bonding experience. You know, if you trust someone particularly, just go up and tell them to sign it. In fact, one of the things that I genuinely wanted to do, but I did not have the balls or the guts to do, is to go to a public promenade, go up with my little painter's palette, a brush, and just tell strangers to just draw a little doodle on my head. The social anxiety in me could never. The second best reason that you could get a buzz cut for is because it allows you to get a fresh start. And I know you guys are thinking that I mean that in a hair perspective, which I am, but it actually allows you to give yourself a fresh start. To me, I kind of see my life as eras, segments of my life. And there was a part in my life where I felt that I had created everything I could creatively up until like December of 2021. And after that, I realized that there was genuinely nothing else that I felt that I could try, that I should try, because I've done it all. So I was like, I will slowly start cutting off my hair to allow myself to give myself time to breathe and think and recuperate. By shaving off my head, I sealed off and closed off a chapter of my life that I felt that I completed. Tried every haircut, I tried every style, I did every single hair color, and now I wanted a brand new outlook to the hair world, to the social media industry. It allowed me to give myself that start that I needed. Now I look at myself as someone whose new career started then. When I started growing out my hair, that is when a brand new Stella, a brand new era of Stella was born. And so not only does the buzz cut allow you to get rid of damaged ends, get rid of old dye, get rid of banding, get rid of any chemical damage, it also allows you as an individual, as a creative, as a human being to start fresh. The third best reason for getting a buzz cut, for shaving off out of your hair, is that it is low maintenance. And I mean it tenfold. Low maintenance doesn't even begin to cover it. No maintenance. There's nothing for you to maintain. But I cannot stress this enough. We women, or anyone who allows society to dictate how we should look and how we should maintain ourselves, we are taught, kind of imprinted on from a very young age, that our hair is where we get our beauty from. It is something of pride. In fact, a lot of women kind of attach their sense of identity to their hair. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hair is a very easy and amazing identifying factor. In fact, you tend to recognize people, celebrities, individuals from their hair. But while that is a great source of personal branding, of personal imagery, it is also a way to kind of imprison yourself into this world that, okay, your hair is how people recognize you, hence I cannot ever change it. If I got my hair done on a Saturday, that means that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm not going swimming. I'm not going to a spa. I'm not getting a massage. I'm not going into a rain. There's going to be many things that I'm going to be limited to. I know so many women, so many girls girls especially who have really beautiful, gorgeous curls, who straighten it, give it a blowout, whatever, and then as a result will not go into humid areas, will not go out into the rain, will completely step back from enjoying that part of their life just because they don't want the hassle of having to redo their hair. And while that seems like a completely normal thing, when we really sit down and analyze it, that is quite an unfortunate and sad reality that we live in. And so in my case, giving myself a buzz cut allowed me to completely give up that necessity of constantly needing to style my hair. There's nothing else. The very tiniest bit of maintenance that you'd need to do is if you happen to dye your hair, you have to keep in mind that dyes fade. But if you're like me, most likely you won't even go 2 weeks before stripping it and giving it a brand new color. So continuing on that is that it is one of the most liberating haircuts ever, for the exact same reasons. Once you don't have hair, you can wear virtually any outfit, any style. You can wear a headscarf. You can wear the color purple on your head. You can use that as the accessory of your choice for the look. In fact, I think I've done it before where I felt like a particular color for an evening and I'm like, well, it's going to take me absolutely 10 minutes to just dye my hair and then there I am. I have a purple head. It is an incredibly liberating haircut. The fourth best reason to cut your hair, if you're like me and you also happen to dabble in the wig world, it is going to make your life 10 times easier when it comes to wig applications. And I know it's gonna be like, oh, well, I don't wear wigs or duh. But if you do, or if you want to get into wigs, having a buzz cut is going to make the process a lot easier. So many people ask me like, how is it comfortable, oh my god, to sleep in wigs? How is it comfortable to wear wigs? How is it comfortable, what do you do with all your hair? I'll be honest, having hair was probably one of my biggest deterrents from wearing wigs for a long period of time. Having something underneath your brand new head of hair is exhausting. When you shave off your head, you shave off that annoying part of your life. I will be fully truthful though, there was one singular period in my life where I cut the buzz cut rather just a bit too long and the hair was literally poking out from the wig cap and out through the wig. No one noticed it, it was just more like when you run your hands over it, you can just kind of feel it. But yeah, no, it made my life incredibly easy and I wore a lot of wigs. The fifth and final reason for getting a buzz cut is that you learn to fall in love with hair again, or with yourself as well. When you strip yourself of all these obligations to style your hair, you strip away that need to impress society and you kind of liberate yourself. When you cut off all of the damaged ends, when you allow yourself to paint again, to get creative, to learn the arts again, you learn to fall in love with yourself and your hair, and you learn to respect it. Because once you take away all of that, there's nothing left but you. And I know this sounds like a lot of crap. I get it. It sounds like a self-help. But it does work. It does work. Once you take away, especially if for you that is a bit of a comfort blanket, you have to learn to like yourself. You have to learn to love the way you look. You have to learn to use what you have, because there's nothing that is shielding anything anymore. You're out into the open. And I know that sounds like a ballsy, big step to take, but trust me when I say this, you are going to fall in love with your hair again, because you're going to understand that when you have nothing, you're going to be so much more thankful and grateful for when you do have something. I am now in my growth phase and I'm super happy to be able to run my hands through it again. I'm not going to say I didn't miss it. In fact, I did. I really missed having hair of my own, but because of it, I'm now so happy to be able to do it. And each week I am so excited to see how much my hair has grown, how it feels, how lush and lovely and fun it is looking again, because you get to start all over again. It's a joy. It's amazing. I'm not going to say that in no point between when I shaved off my hair to now was there ever a period where I didn't like myself. There were many days where I wished I was like, I don't have time for the grow out period. I don't have time for this 2-inch long hair that is sticking up everywhere but where it has. On those days, I typically wore a scarf, I typically put on a wig, I typically wore a beanie. For the most part, shaving off my hair was probably the best decision that I could have taken, hair-wise, creative-wise, personality.